All right, we are live. I'm here with Kerry Campion of
That's me.
God Save The SERP. You gotta put that in there. You got the emphasis on the God Save The SERP.
Yeah, exactly.
So Kerry
Exactly.
is an expat of Northern Ireland in sunny, arid Spain.
Today was
Arid.
definitely, yeah. I want to emphasize the really arid part that I really felt today, getting sunburnt in
I
mid-October.
know. Mid-October sunburn because you're in the northern hemisphere. So yeah, it's the winter for you. Yeah,
Yeah, like it is. I mean, like I said, we were at 2 degrees this morning,
yeah.
and that shot up
That's
to like
Celsius, everybody.
20.
That's Celsius. That's
Yeah, I
Celsius.
don't know what that is. I don't
Two, no,
speak
two is
in
like
Fahrenheit.
30, it's like 35-ish
Yeah,
ish.
because like
Because
yeah,
zero is 32. So
hmm right.
I can do a little bit, but us Americans
I
are
can do
stupid.
math.
I can't do math, not at all. But
No. Yeah, well, that
anyhow,
was a complete lie.
exactly. All right, well, so I'm gonna count us in and we'll get started on the party. Yay.
Sure.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right. In three, two, one. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of not the digital marketing dive, it's the other podcast. Let me start over. Hey everybody, this is live and fun that way. All right, in two, one. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneur's Enigma podcast. We have a great episode today. Talking to Kerry Campion of God Save The SERP. It's just like it's a heavy metal thing, but
Yeah, it's
she
definitely
is
a
an
punk rock vibe.
SEO. Yeah, rock vibe, absolutely. And if you see her headshots, she's wearing a punk rock, AC/DC kind of like look to her, But it's awesome. It's great. And Kerry is an SEO copywriter, originally from Northern Ireland, transplanted herself into arid Spain, got herself sunburned in October.
Yeah, really badly.
Oh my God, exactly. So it's been a day for her, but that is exactly a good example of entrepreneurship. Is that you can get sunburn in October. That's the reason why you want to be an entrepreneur. Not exactly that, but the idea is that every day is unique. Every
Right.
day, throws you a curveball and you have to kind of either hit it or miss it or whatever. Don't talk to me about baseball analogies. I'm not no good at sports. But the idea is that, Kerry, how long have you been doing SEO copywriting for?
So like, I mean, I've been doing it sort of like officially the last kind of like year and a half. But I sort of started my own kind of business with probably, yeah, now like 2.5 years ago. And I actually started with something completely different that actually
Oh,
led me
pivot.
into copywriting. It was a pivot, yeah. Because I was
Exactly.
actually I was an English teacher actually before.
Oh,
And
where? In Spain?
yeah, in Spain, kind of working with the language academy, and then I went on my own, just teaching people like one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally like, people would literally just come to my house and we would have our classes there, and
This
it
is
just
English
kind of
as English. This is English as a second language, right? Not English
yes,
literature.
yeah, exactly. It's a huge market in Spain. The ESL industry
Mm.
is just enormous here, and I guess I kind of there's a few things I didn't like about it. I mean, I think I just kind of like above all, like in that format, it was weird, and I think this is probably just also a very entrepreneurial thing. The work came to me too easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was like, oh, you're a native speaker of English, can you teach me English? Like that was literally the first thing out of people's mouths,
Oh
and that
wow.
kind of like bothered me, which is bizarre. I mean, imagine, I wish I had that problem now. Oh, work comes to me too easily. But
Exactly.
but I think I did want more of a challenge. And then as well, it was
Mhm.
very much like, I mean, we're always exchanging time for money in some respect, but it was literally
Oh yeah.
like, an hour of my time was like 15 euro. Do you know what I mean? Like that,
Yeah.
that hits the ceiling pretty quickly. And
Yeah. So
then like,
you were in
yeah,
high demand. You were in high demand but low rate, and it's like, oh, I'd much rather
exactly.
have bigger clients, less clients, but bigger clients.
Right, exactly. And yeah, I just kind of got maybe just a little bit burnt out from it, a little bit kind of fed up with that format. So then actually me and my husband, we moved to France for 2 years, and I was pregnant. And I kind of thought, well, this is the perfect time to start something new. And that was, I wanted to sort of start a blog. I wanted to start kind of like an online teaching business. And that
Mm-hmm.
was when I sort of first started to get into like content marketing, into SEO, into social media marketing and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of got to the point where I was doing that for a while, and I sort of thought, when it actually came to the time where I'd had my daughter, I was kind of coming out of, well, maternity leave, quote unquote.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I was thinking about going back, to work. And I was kind of like, I've had way more fun just like with the online stuff. And I actually don't
Hmm.
want to retake classes. Like, I actually don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And then I kind of found out like this thing called copywriting was a thing. And I was like, wait, that's a thing? People pay you for that? Like, what? you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Cause I'd always kind of,
oh, yeah.
right, exactly. I was like, wait, this is a thing? People pay for this? And,
Hmm.
I'd always kind of written like fiction and things like that, or I'd always been, freelance articles here and there. So yeah, it was just kind of a way I was like, oh my God, well, I need to just do this now. I can't believe I didn't know that this existed. And then I, obviously did like training, my diploma in copywriting and stuff. And then from there, then I got into like the SEO side of it, because the thing I
Which is a
probably
whole different beast. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And definitely went into like a rabbit hole, because I think it's hard to know where my role starts and where it ends. And I'm like pretty firm with that. It's like link building, not my job. Technical SEO,
Oh
not my
God.
job. Anything like that, not my job. And I can point you in the direction of people whose job it is, but
Hmm.
that's not my
That's your
job. And
net, your niche, your niche is the content.
right, exactly. So I just was like, like the content marketing side of things, the copy side of things, that's where I step in, you know.
It.
But there's people who
Hmm.
kind of want you to be like a one-stop shop for everything, because they don't have a lot of budget. They, might be quite small business owners. And I'm just like, yeah, but one person can't take on all these roles. It's
No.
impossible.
Even I don't. I mean, I offer all that, but like, Nicole, and I use
Mhm,
Nicole for
yeah.
the content. I,
Hmm.
maybe I'll use you for some content, that kind of thing. And the idea is that, you do what you're good at and you hire for the rest,
Right, exactly. And I
and
was just like, I'm not splitting my attention with all these other things that are like irrelevant. I mean, I'm not going to be able to offer all that stuff, even if I wanted to. Like, it's just way too much for one person. I would have a mental breakdown, like.
absolutely, exactly. So, but to be an entrepreneur, what was the scariest thing? I love asking this question. What was the scariest
Mm.
thing when you decided to be an entrepreneur like full time? What was it the scariest thing you had to, like, you realized?
I think like for me, I actually think I know like right off the bat. Because whenever I was doing like the English teaching thing, I never really felt like I was starting a business. I never really felt like a business owner or an entrepreneur like that. Those
Hmm.
words just like weren't in my vocabulary at all. It was just basically like just scraping by and just like making money, and it felt very like hustly, kind of,
Hmm.
that kind of vibe. Um, but I remember I was like, this is back when I was in when we were living in Paris, and I was sitting there, and like we had this nice little like a balcony in our apartment, and from that balcony you could see like the light from the Eiffel Tower just kind of like whizzing around.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
know, it was really nice. I couldn't see the Eiffel Tower, but I could see like it like emits a beam of light.
Yeah.
I
The
remember I was
spotlight.
just
Yeah.
like, yeah. And I was just like, I always used to just go there to like think when I was having like existential crises. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I've spent so long, you know, becoming a teacher, like really, working with all these students. And I really put like a lot of effort into, I did a lot of training and stuff. I've been building up this website, building up this audience. I had a podcast as well that people really loved.
Mm.
And I'm just going to walk away from it all to start this brand new thing, like start this new copywriting business. And like, I was just like, oh my God, I feel like it was really bittersweet, because I kind of felt like a complete failure, because that last sort of,
Hmm.
business or idea just obviously didn't pan out, and I changed my mind. And I think the scariest part of that was like thinking, oh God, like what if this doesn't work out? Like
Hmm. Oh
this
yeah,
will
I know
be
that feeling.
another failure to like add to the list. So yeah, that was really scary. And I think I was really afraid of telling people as well, like, oh, so
Hmm.
how's teaching going? Oh yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. I think I was just really afraid of looking inconsistent and just looking like this
Hmm.
mess who didn't know what they were, what they wanted in life.
Yeah, but now going into it now, on the flip side, what's the most exciting thing about being an entrepreneur? I mean, you have a young daughter, right?
Yeah. So my daughter
And it's
is
and the
2,
flexibility. Oh, she's two, exactly. So you need the flexibility.
nearly 2. Yeah, it's definitely the flexibility. Like, I think as well, like, There's a few things for me. The flexibility, absolutely. Like if she gets sick, if both of us are kind of like tied to, something like a 9 to 5 or something, and it's like, oh, it's this big drama, right? Like, oh, who's going to take care of her? Or, oh, I have to take time off work. And,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to do that. And then I think as well, like it's a blessing and a curse probably, but having that freedom to execute on your creative ideas, like not,
Mm-hmm.
being kind of in charge of that red tape per se, where you can just say, I want to do this and I can, like
Dum dum dum. Yeah.
I can start that podcast. I can start that YouTube channel. I can, work with these types of clients, that kind of thing. So I think for me, that's probably it. And the fact that I guess this is probably more pertinent with online business, is that I'm not limited to my local market.
Mm-hmm.
Like that for me is just incredible. That's super important.
Especially being, writing in English, I mean, you do put U's in very weird spots, in my opinion. Color and like
Honor.
other than that, I think everything's cool. But that's a debate for a different podcast. The British, British Irish English versus the American bastardized English. Oh my God! I mean, I'm sure that my accent's probably so weird to you, whereas I love your accent. The Irish accent is classic. Anyhow, when you think about entrepreneurship and you're out there, you're doing it, you're rocking it, and now you tell us a little bit more about God Save the SERP and what's the plan with that?
Yeah, so that domain in particular is very new. I think I only launched it I always get confused about if it was May or March. No, I think it was May. It was March. No, May. Sorry, of this year. Because
I think I remember because we're in the same SEO for the rest of us.
Right.
Hi, Brandon.
Hi, Brandon.
I think you just launched it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I had just had like a domain, kerrycampion.com, which, oh my God, still has an under construction sign. Like it was live, and I took it down just while I was creating the new. Oh, that's my daughter in the background. You can hear.
Oh, it's fine. She can make an appearance. It's totally fine. Hey, this is the entrepreneur. This is the entrepreneur realism right there. Exactly.
She's giving our dog a kiss goodnight. Mara.
Yeah.
There she is.
Oh, there she is. Hi.
You gonna give me a kiss? Thank you.
That's awesome. But this is the entrepreneurial thing in general. Is that you can be on a pod, and that's what I love it. Like originally, you're saying you were going to take it from your car, which it's fine too. And you're all worried about how it's like. I'm like, I don't care, because this is entrepreneurship. You're taking like it is. What time is it? I don't even know what it is. It's at 2:00 p.m. where I am in Philly, and it's 8:00 where you are in Spain. But okay, we're entrepreneurs. We set our own schedule. It's not like, oh no, this is overtime. No, That's one downside of entrepreneurship. There is no overtime. There's no overtime. It's the worst kind of commission. It's the worst kind of commission, honestly. If you think sales is a commission, what's worse than that is you sometimes have to draw the pull from. Here you don't. It's you make it or you break it. And I think that's kind of the scary thing. But I mean, like clearly, entrepreneurship is a way for some people to go about work. And clearly you found your little jive with, working, having your daughter as your co-pilot and all that.
Right, exactly.
What's it like being an entrepreneur? Your husband's at work, or with their partners at work. Oh, he's working here too.
I'm working from home. Yeah, like he is. Oh,
so you're all. Oh, so you're all in the same dog. So what's that like? There we go. What's that like? You have the little rug rat who's like, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." Your husband's saying, "Sweetheart, I need this." I can speak to that too. My wife is working upstairs. I work in the basement. My work lives in her bedroom. So it's kind of nice to know we're in the same house, but it's like we're separate. I mean, like, what's it like being an entrepreneur with all these extrasensory things going on? Like, how do you deal with that?
I mean, probably the most important thing is that our daughter goes to daycare during the day.
Set boundaries,
it would just be impossible for me because she's just at that very needy age where you just can't take your eyes off them for a microsecond, So she is at daycare. So, she's there from 8 to 4, which, is great.
Not bad.
And then my husband, he works from home 4 days out of the week, and one day he goes to the office.
That's
So
not
that's
bad.
actually been really good because, I mean, I really don't mind working from home alone, but it is nice to kind of feel like you almost have like a coworker, which is obviously something we don't
Mm-hmm.
feel an awful
Have.
lot unless you actually do have like, an office with employees and stuff coming. But I think
Mm-hmm.
like in general, there are people with, employees and stuff, but they're still doing this. They're all still working from home. So it just makes sense. Like, why would you sit in your car and eat, oh, that was a very Spanish English translation there. Why would you sit in your car and just like, be in a traffic jam for like 30 minutes to
Yeah.
get there, 30 minutes back, have a little miserable lunch at the cafe, at the
Yeah.
canteen, just why would you do it
Exactly.
when you could just be at home and just like have all your comforts here?
Yeah, so you said you made a point, that you decided to put that boundary between you and your daughter, so that she's at daycare, she's learning, she's doing her
Hmm.
entrepreneurial journey on her own, you're doing yours and all that. But she's learning the way of being, a kid,
Hmm.
and what's that like, having the flexibility. Like we talk about that, everyone's like, oh, entrepreneurship, you're working, you have no 9 to 5, it's 24/7, round the clock, hustle, hustle, hustle. But when you have kids, the hustle's the kid.
Yeah, that is 100% true. Like I don't, I don't buy into hustle culture. I don't buy
Mhm.
into the idea like why would I have, quote unquote created like this freedom, to work 24 hours a day. Like my dream is to make
Mhm.
as much money as possible, working as little as possible. Like that
That's the
that
dream,
is
yeah.
and basically like even now, I mean, for instance, when we were moving back from France to Spain again. Obviously, I was dealing with a lot of paperwork and stuff, and closing my business there and opening it here and making sure that was all legit. So I
Oh,
kind
I
of had like
forgot
this.
about that. It's so much worse than it
Oh,
is in the United States. I think it's the same actually.
it's
If you change states here, I think it's the
oh
same
really?
if you change states because you have to
Mm,
reincorporate. But I don't think you have to. I think you can leave. Yeah, because I've known people that incorporate in Delaware and they're in Arkansas. So yeah,
right,
it's
exactly.
different.
But here's like different countries, so like you really have to do it. Um, so yeah, we just kind of had like this vacuum in like the middle where it was just like, okay, well, I can't really take on clients right now, so I just said, screw it, I'm just gonna take a month off. Just I was like,
Because you
just gonna take a
can.
month off because I can, exactly. And it's, I've also there's a part, maybe it was like this spring actually, where I was feeling just, I felt like an employee again because I just had so
Mm.
much client work kind of lined up, and it was like ongoing work as well. It wasn't the
Hmm.
kind of thing like one project off board, boom. It was like my whole calendar, my whole day was just client work, client work, client work, client work.
It's
And it,
tough. Yeah.
so I just said like, look, that's not how I want to work, because I just feel like an employee
An
again, kind
employee.
of
Yeah.
idea, like the bigger sort of vision for God Save The SERP, which is why I went for a brand name over like my own sort of personal name. Was I want to work with like 2 to 3 clients at a time, because then it's like I can really give 100%, 110% like my focus and everything that could just goes to them. But even like
Hmm.
one client at a time, I'm working with one client right now and I love it. I'm just like, yeah, that's all I got going on, and that's enough to get me through. It's great. Um,
Exactly.
and then kind of
Work-life balance.
productize.
Yeah. Hmm.
Right, exactly. And then productize.
That's
Like
exciting.
this.
'Cause, yeah, so talk about what so you're planning on doing like an online course, right? Like
Mhm.
teaching people how
Right.
to write. I think that's really exciting is that, I've tried to do it in the past and I'm like, it's just not for me. But I think it's
Mhm.
really exciting that you're actually able to say, all right, I can do it though. I can do one-on-one, but then I can also
Mhm.
pull a Brandon, as if the rest of us, teach your knowledge and share and have it go farther, teach a person how to fish.
Yeah, exactly. And really, it's funny because like, I kind of got into copywriting because it was like, whoa, there's this thing called copywriting, and people will pay you to do this thing that I already do and that I love. That's amazing. And that was kind of obviously where it came from. But
Hmm.
with like the kind of courses and stuff I have in mind, or yeah, they're actually designed for other copywriters because other copywriters kept coming to me and asking me questions and asking me, do you do any coaching? Do you do this? Do you do that? And I was like, oh, this is like kind of the first time I felt kind of not pressured, that's not the right word, but kind of inspired, I guess, to actually create something
Hmm.
because people are literally asking me for it. And it was like,
Yeah.
you know, like it's the first time I think like my market has found me,
Yeah,
you
it's
know, rather
absolutely.
than
Yeah.
it just kind of happened like so organically. And I was just like, that kind of like helps when I sort of feel like, oh, maybe I can't do this. I can't do the, you know, the doubt kind of
Hmm.
creeps in. But then I think like, you're doing this because people are literally asking you for it. Like, you know,
Yeah, bring
there
it,
has to be
bring
a
it on,
reason
bring it on.
for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So wrapping this up, because I know you have to, possibly go snuggle with your daughter a little bit here. She probably wants her mommy time too. But where's the best place for people to find you? That'd be GodSaveTheSERP.com.
It would be GodSaveTheSERP.com, and SERP for people who are like, what the hell is that? Stands for SIF.
Search engine ranking position. Dun, 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 dun,
Search
dun.
engine results page is what
Results
I had in mind.
page.
But
I did
but that's
both.
also an acronym.
I did both, and then that makes more sense. Ranking page for you because that makes more sense. So I think
Yeah.
in the I think in the
Search engine
SEO
results
realm
page.
of yeah,
That's true. I
that's
actually hadn't
awesome.
thought about that there is another acronym.
It is another acronym, and I've been thinking all day in the positions of stuff. So my brain gets positions, you just want page. So it's the same
Yeah.
SERP, but yeah, that's awesome. So
Exactly.
that's great, and you're also very active as God Save the SERP on Instagram. You're really
Yeah,
getting into the
Instagram
real. The
is
reels are funny. I really enjoy those.
I've only started doing them recently because I know like they perform really well in terms of like reach, but I'm just
Yeah,
like I'm so over watching people like point at things, you know,
yeah.
like
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's not what you
I was
need to
like,
do.
I don't want to point at things. I don't want to like dance either. You know, there's like these dance move trends and stuff.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I mean, they're pretty cool to watch, but yeah.
Yeah, but I just couldn't do it myself. That's the thing. And then like, but I just find myself kind of getting sucked into the vortex of reels. It's all dog content as well. Like Instagram just knows what
Oh,
I
you do
like.
have a cute
It just
doggy,
yeah, I have a German Shepherd.
a big
But
dog.
yeah, she's a big dog. She's a big dog. She actually tripped over her earlier and like fell on my face on the street.
Oh my, you tripped over your own dog.
Yeah, I
And she
did.
probably looked at you
Give
like, "Mom, what are you doing?"
She's like, "Oh crap, what happened?"
She just
I've
looked at
nearly
you. She's
tripped
like,
over her before, but today I actually did.
boom, boom, exactly. So everyone, you can find our show at entrepreneursenigma.com. You can see it for those who are watching entrepreneursenigma.com down there.
Hmm.
And if you love the show, review us on a podcast directory of your choice. It does not have to be Apple Podcasts. It can, but it can be Podchase or any of the other places as well. It helps us.
Spotify.
People, Spotify is another great place. We're over there. Pod. What is it called? Podcast Addict is
Oh,
another
I
one.
don't
It's
have
an
that one.
Android app that has their own little directory.
Mm,
So that's kind of cool. So review
that is
us.
nice.
Let everyone know to come listen to Kerry and talk about her adventures in entrepreneurship. And if you
And
watch
an
the video, you
arid
get a quick
arid Spain
in arid Spain where you can get a nose burn in October.
in October in the northern
That's
hemisphere like this.
in the
Yeah.
northern hemisphere. We're not in Australia. We're talking about Spain. Of course, it's
Yeah.
hot here. It's like 80 degrees here. So it's around.
Oh,
It's
really?
around the same. Yeah, it's around the same degree. Of course, in Celsius, you'd be like boiling if there's 80 degrees Celsius. But
Yeah, yeah,
80 degrees
that would be too
Fahrenheit.
much.
But that's around what is that? It's around like 20 Celsius. It's about the same
Yeah, so like
temperature over
here
here.
at the
Yeah,
minute, yeah. Hmm.
it was hot. It's hot today. So in October. We'll leave that alone. But yeah. So everyone will catch you on the flip side. And Kerry, thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on late at night for you. So we very much appreciate that.
No worries. Thanks very much for inviting me.
Oh, of course.